Hello and welcome to The World Today. I'm Millicent Walker. Let's catch up on the latest in Ukraine today. Oil producers have agreed to boost output in July and August following the European Union's move to block most imports from Russia. But the increase will only partially make up for decreased Russian output. The US has announced a new round of sanctions against Russian individuals, including several prominent Russian government officials. We also understand that fierce street fighting continues in the eastern city of Severodonetsk, where 80% of the industrial city, it's said, has fallen to Russian forces. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has said that Russia now controls 20% of his country's territory. And during an address in Luxembourg Parliament, Russian forces have also shelled the city of Kharkiv overnight. And we understand that they've also carried out a missile strike in Lviv. Well, for the latest, joining us now is VOA's correspondent Anna Chernikova. She joins me now from Kiev. Hi, Anna. Before we talk about the other parts of the east, how is Kiev today? What's happening there?
Good evening. Well, Kiev is more or less okay. Kiev citizens is unfortunately getting used to all this, and every day, a couple of times actually per day, we have air raid sirens still also over the night. Today, actually, it was no siren, but there were a couple of them during the night and yesterday in the evening. So the city is trying to come back to normal as much as it can. Of course, it's not going to be as normal as it was before the 24th of February, unfortunately, but still small businesses are trying to come back and start working again. Middle businesses, big businesses. So, people are trying to get this atmosphere, this mood of life back. And of course, as summer starts, we still, all people are trying to get this summer feeling, but everything that people can still think about, and in Kyiv especially as well, is that tomorrow going to be 100 days of this war.
And we understand that Russia's army is trying to break Ukraine's defense in the eastern region from all directions. What are you hearing?
This is true. Again, we should concentrate now at Luhansk region in particular, because this is the main battlefield at the moment, and in particular the city of Severodonetsk, which is 80% occupied now by Russian forces. However, very heavy fightings are continuing, and just recently we received another confirmation from the Ukrainian military officials that Ukrainian army managed to do a counter-attack operation in Severodonetsk and killed certain part of Russian forces and captured some of the soldiers as well, and advanced in certain area. But still, we should understand that the city of Severodonetsk is a huge battlefield, and unfortunately, Russian forces just burn it down as it was with Mariupol. We also should understand that Luhansk region is, there is another city that remains completely under Ukrainian control, which is Lysychansk, and Lysychansk is a city on the top. So in terms of the landscape, and it will be quite difficult for Russian forces to proceed there. So we will see how all this will go on. But again, what we can see is that it's now 4 days of very heavy fighting, street fightings in the city of Severodonetsk. Also, there are a lot of shellings happening, and not only there, but also in Donetsk region in particular. So Russian forces are trying to attack with different kind of equipment from air, from land, and from artillery. And Donetsk region is also pretty much this in the center, in the spotlight of the battle at the moment. This is what we have to understand in terms of the eastern part. Also, as was reported, Kharkiv region and the city of Kharkiv in particular is suffering from shellings as well. Of course, it's nothing for the moment. It's nothing about attack or proceeding of Russian forces, but it's just constant shelling and constant destruction of the civilian objects mostly.
And when you say Lviv, Mykolaiv, Kharkiv, Donetsk, these are all in the eastern part, the eastern region?
So eastern, we would say that it's Donetsk region, Luhansk, and Kharkiv region. But if we go south, then here we have Kherson and Mykolaiv. Kherson is under Russian control, Mykolaiv is under Ukrainian control, and also we can see a lot of fighting going on there and a lot of shelling going on there. But again, because Russian forces concentrated almost all of their fresh power and most of their equipment, like really a great amount, in Severodonetsk in particular, in this one spot, Ukrainian army had a chance to advance in the Kherson region, and at the moment there is a counter-attack by Ukrainian forces in Kherson because there is lack of Russian forces, and basically Ukrainian army is using this chance to divide Russian forces in two parts in Kherson region, and we will see, because it's very interesting, tactic, and it's quite interesting what's going to happen next, because this is really a chance now for Ukrainian forces, while Russian forces are concentrating all of their forces in Severodonetsk. Mykolaiv was always, from day one, was under Ukrainian control, but again, the city is suffering a lot from the shelling, because this is a very important city for Russian forces. It's on the way to Odessa, and when Russian officials were saying that they would like to control all south part of Ukraine, it means that Mykolaiv is also a strategic point for them. So the city itself and the region, Mykolaiv region, also suffering from very heavy shellings. And just in the past days, as I look at the reports, there were dozens of shellings, and unfortunately, civilians dying every day. But again, city is defending and is one of the this fort posts now in the south. But also, again, as you know. In Kyiv, people don't feel absolutely safe. It's just, people are getting used to this situation. Similarly, in the West, for example, when we talk about Lviv, people are living their lives there, but time to time, still shelling's happening. And yesterday in the evening, when the whole country was under the air raid siren, it was a missile attack at Lviv, and what we know for the moment is that it was attack on the railway infrastructure. It was destroyed, not destroyed, but heavily damaged, pretty much. And it took it's still under the repairing works, and still some trains are not going through there. And I just want to remind that Lviv is the central city for all the refugees and all the, not refugees, but internally displaced people, and all the organizations, all the international logistics, basically. So, this is kind of the atmosphere. So every region is under a great risk. And unfortunately, we see that every day, almost every region is suffering from certain missile attacks.
Very difficult circumstances over there. But we heard during his address to the Luxembourg Parliament, the Ukraine president say that Russia now controls 20% of his country's territory. I'm wondering how the Ukrainians feel about this, if it means that, the Ukrainian troops are winning, or that Russia is also winning. This is also alongside what some analysts are saying, that taking Severodonetsk would mean Russia controls almost all of Luhansk in the eastern Donbass region.
Yeah, this is true. 20% of Ukrainian territory is under Russian control for the moment. I think that at the beginning of this war, there were around 10, 7, 10. We should look, and Ukrainians are trying to look at this situation in a general, like now the general map. So we can definitely see that from the beginning of this war, when Kyiv region was under attack, Sumy region, Chernihiv region, which is north part, there were much more territories under occupation. Now we can see that, the central part and north part is completely liberated, and this definitely makes a very positive emotional, emotional trigger for Ukrainians, because, of course, we understand that, a lot of territories are occupied, and much more than it was before the beginning of war, but still it's less than it was during, the first weeks or first months of war. What I should say that, of course, when we hear some suggestions by certain European or international experts that Ukraine should give up some territories in order to, make peace or illusion of peace, we just have to understand that this 20% of territory is almost half of, or even, I think it's half of Italy. So we just have to realize how huge this, territory is. And, absolutely, when we talk about Severodonetsk, for example, yes, we do understand that it's probably going to be, so if Severodonetsk falls and Russia controls Severodonetsk in full, it will be almost the whole Luhansk region would be lost. But still, it's quite early to say this, because according to military experts and military officials, because of course we can just, look at it as as the experts in information or experts in any other area, but not military. So military experts say that it's quite early to say that Luhansk region is under Russian control, because the city of Lysychansk is still very important and very difficult spot. Would be very difficult spot for Russians to take over. But again, we'll see how it's going to happen and what's going to happen. Still, also there was a certain investigation by the Institute of War, and experts of this institution said that, of course, it's very sad and to give up Severodonetsk for Ukrainian side, but from operational point of view, it's quite wise, because this basically what Ukrainian forces are doing now. They're trying to get certain advantage in the south. So we really should not just look at certain area. We should look at this front line as a general picture.
And, another game changer might also be the advanced weapons, that the U.S. says, it plans to send more advanced artillery systems to Ukraine. But Russia is criticizing that, saying that, they're adding fuel to fire. But we know President Joe Biden said the goal was to also help Ukraine defend itself, and he hopes that it could help with negotiations between both countries. How far, has talks come up since?
We should remember, first of all, that aggressor and country that started this war is Russia. So Russia has definitely, they have a very, very interesting, position for during their speeches. But we should understand that Russia is aggressor, and it's quite not correct for Russia to say that, Ukraine, if Ukraine gets weapons, they could attack us. Ukraine is protecting, defending itself, and this is the most important. And Ukrainian president, Ukrainian officials said from the very beginning that Ukraine doesn't want any territories any other territories except of Ukrainian territories. So, as President Zelensky confirmed and President Biden confirmed, that Ukraine would not use these weapons to attack Russia's territory. So I think this, of course, Russia and Russian officials would not be happy about this. But again, what they're saying about escalation or adding oil to fire, well, it's just probably something that they should say, but it's not going to really change much, because this is defending, first of all, it's defending artillery and defending equipment. We cannot say if these have changed the negotiations yet, because equipment is not in Ukraine and not at the front line at the moment. So we, as we hear from the Ukrainian officials expect this equipment to come in, well, in about a couple of weeks. So no one says exactly, but well, we understand that it would take some time for Ukrainian soldiers to get trained to use this equipment, and also to transfer this equipment to Ukraine. But definitely this would be a game changer. At least this is what is expected, because as we already were discussing, that the main negotiation is happening at the battlefield. So whatever situation is at the battlefield, it basically creates a platform for negotiation field. So yeah, we will just wait. But of course, Ukrainian society and Ukrainian officials are very happy about the recent confirmations of the equipment that Ukraine is going to receive, and well, everyone is waiting for them to come and to be a part of this battle.
Anna, it's always good to have you join us. Thank you so much, and do continue to stay safe.
Thank you.